So this is my lumbosacral plexus video. I already have it drawn out, so we'll go ahead and start by explaining the roots here. We have T12, L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, and coxal 1. So T12 isn't technically part of the lumbar plexus, but it does feed into L1. So that's why we're including that. In L1 and L4, the lumbar vertebrae, those are part of the lumbar plexus. L4 to S4 is the sacral plexus. And then down here we have S4, S5, and coxal 1. That's the coxalgeal plexus. And that just innervates the skin. So then the divisions, there are anterior divisions and posterior divisions. My anterior divisions are green and my posterior divisions are blue. So starting with the anterior, off of T12, we have the subcostal nerve. The subcostal nerve. From T12 and L1, we have the iliohypogastric nerve. For coming off of that's T12 and L1. Off of L1, we have the ilioinguinal nerve. From L1 and L2, we have the genitofemoral nerve. L1, L2. From L2 and L3, we have the lateral femoral cutaneous nerve. Cutaneous. That is L2, L3. And then let's go from L2, L3, and L4. L2 to L4. We have the obturator nerve. And this nerve, oh, you can't see. This nerve innervates the obturator externus, the adductor muscles. So adductor medialis, adductor longus, and adductor brevis, and the gracilis. So then, oh my goodness. So the subcostal, iliohypogastric, ilioinguinal, and the genitofemoral nerve are all on the anterior side. And the posterior side is the lateral femoral cutaneous nerve. And the obturator is also on the anterior side. So again, on the anterior side is the accessory nerve. And that's from L2 and L4, or L3 and L4. The accessory nerve innervates the pectineus. So Then on the posterior side, we have L2, L3, and L4 into the femoral nerve. L2 to L4. And the femoral nerve also innervates the pectineus, just on the posterior side. The pectineus, or accessory nerve, isn't the only, or isn't present in everybody. And so that's innervates the pectineus on the front side, the anterior side, and then on the posterior side, the pectineus gets innervated by the femoral nerve. Pectineus. So the femoral nerve innervates the pectineus. It also innervates the rectus femoris, the iliacus, the vastus muscles, so the vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, and vastus intermedius. Let's see, pectineus, the quad muscles, or not, yeah, the quad muscles, the pectineus, and the sartorius. The sartorius. Those are the muscles that the femoral nerve innervates. I'm going to tighten this because it's hard to write. So we'll go. So then on the posterior side, we have L4, L5, and S1 leading into the superior gluteal nerve. So that's L4 to S1. That innervates the gluteus medius and the gluteus minimus. And then below that, we have from L5, S1, and S2, we have the inferior gluteal nerve, and that's L5 to S1. And that's innervated by, or that innervates the gluteus maximus, glute max, on the posterior side. So then on the anterior side, from L5, S1, and S2, we have the nerve to the obturator. That's L5 to S2. From S2, S3, and S4, we have the pudendal nerve. And the pudendal nerve innervates the externus anal and the external urethra. On the anterior side, from S1, S2, and S3, we have the nerve to quadratus formis, or the femoris, quadratus femoris. And then on the anterior side again, from S1, S2, and S3, we have the posterior femoral cutaneous nerve. And that innervates the skin. I didn't write here that the nerve to the quadratus femoris is from S1 to S3. And this is also posterior femoral cutaneous is also from S1 to S3. On the posterior side, from S1 and S2, S1 to S2, we have the nerve to the piriformis. And then, can I get them all up there? And then we have the big guy, the sciatic nerve. Sciatic nerve is innervated from L4, L5, S1, S2, and S3. The sciatic nerve is also broken into two different branches, the anterior and the posterior. So on the anterior portion, we have the tibial nerve. And the tibial nerve innervates the tibial nerve has the triceps surae made up of the gastrocnemius and the soleus. It also innervates the semitendinosus, the semimembranosus, the biceps femoris long head, the plantaris and popliteal, and the tibialis posterior. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have the flexor digitorum longus and the flexor hallucis longus. So I'll repeat that. The anterior tibial nerve innervates the triceps surae, which is made up of the gastrocnemius and the soleus. It also innervates the semitendinosus, the semimembranosus, the biceps femoris long head, the plantaris, the popliteal, the tibialis posterior, the flexor digitorum longus, and the flexor hallucis longus. So then on the posterior side, we have the fibular nerve, which is also broken into two different branches. We have the deep branch, which innervates the tibialis anterior, extensor digitorum longus, extensor digitorum brevis, extensor hallucis longus, extensor hallucis brevis, the fibularis tertius, or tertiate, tertius or tertiate, tertiate, and the tibialis. Tibialis anterior. Oh, the biceps femoris short head. So, I'll repeat that part again. The deep branch of the fibular nerve on the sciatic nerve innervates the tibialis anterior, the extensor digitorum longus, the extensor digitorum brevis, extensor hallucis longus, extensor hallucis brevis, fibularis tertius, and the biceps femoris short head. And the last part of this is the superficial branch, and this innervates the fibularis longus and the fibularis brevis. Let me just make sure that everything. Okay, so this is really hard to see. That is my lumbosacral plexus.